Hey, what's up guys? Everything Apple Pro here. Today I'd like to cover iOS 13.4 Beta 2. Sorry I'm late on this one. We were launching our website yesterday. Wanted to make sure everything went smoothly. To everyone that pre-ordered, thank you. We got 3,000 orders in 24 hours and we're 2 months out. So I'm honestly really psyched about that. Anyways, there are over 50 changes in 13.4 since the last video. There's actually a lot from the first beta, and Apple tweaked and fine-tuned a bunch of new things in 13.4. Let's get into it. And I did want to mention, I am wrapping up the giveaway. So about 1 week to go on the AirPods Pro, that's 5 units of those, and doing a giveaway for 3 Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultras. Links for those can be found down below in the description. All right, let's get into iOS 13.2 Beta 2, which is quite an extensive update. Let's start with the iOS Restore image. Apple has made those available now on 13.4. They don't work. I wasn't able to actually use it to update my phone, but they are there now. And on certain iPads, I've tested this on the 10.5, I believe the 9.7 might be affected also, the Apple logo during boot up has been centered. So previously it was sitting a little high. On my 11 and 12.9 inch, they were always centered. So I guess Apple wanted to make it uniform across all iPads. And iOS 13.4 Beta 2 will always be on the right in this video. So Apple no longer lets you opt out of iPhone analytics by default. So the Share with Apple button has been replaced with Continue, and this is during the setup menu. And Apple continues to refine 4.7-inch iPhones. This is presumably because they're launching the new iPhone 9 here on March 31st. And the latest change, besides the status bar in the control center, is when you actually enable airplane mode, now the 4.7-inch iPhones will display the carrier despite the fact that it is in airplane mode. And next up, Find My. Clearly Apple is working on AirTags and an updated interface for Find My. So first things first, here on the actual pinpoint, you can see that it doesn't sit on top of the blue dot anymore. It's cuter, it actually sits right on top of it. And a bunch of the icons have been updated. So the play icon now is a little bit smaller. The directions icon, notifications icon, the share my location icon is a little bit bigger now. And the actual location icon is now a spinning little loader instead of just saying locating. Clearly Apple is working on this extensively, and when you actually use Maps from Find My or just Maps in general, you can see the directions page has been cleaned up. Driving options is no longer scrollable, so it just looks quite clean like this. And when you expand the interface in Find My, you can see it's all spaced out. There's more spacing, and the mark has lost icon is new also. In Find My, in the Me tab, in Receive Location Updates, in here, you now have a Done button once you're done selecting. And when completely zoomed in on the device you're looking for, as you can see, the actual circle is not as large anymore, seemingly more precise. Maybe Apple's using the U1 chip more accurately, or will be after this event. And in the Me page, you can see the spacing is different, more spaced out now, and notification section is new. It actually has an icon now for the same options. And the VPN icon has been tweaked once again. It's now a thinner font, so it looks a little smaller. In wallpaper, when selecting a wallpaper with a light and dark transition wallpaper, you can see the icons are now centered. And Siri can now take you to the home screen. Take me to the home screen. So no matter which app you're in, she'll actually go to the home screen. And this is a 13.4 Beta 1 feature. In the AirPod Bluetooth settings, on the very bottom, you'll now see Disconnect and Forget Device. Before, that option was not there. You actually had to go out to the Bluetooth menu to do that. In the Stocks app, Apple has updated the Yahoo icon to new Yahoo Finance. In Safari, Apple.com and iCloud.com no longer show up green in the URL bar. In Beta 2, it's just regular black. And iCloud.com now works with Smart Invert properly. So when you enable that, it actually triggers it into dark. Here, it does not. In Safari, the sign-in page has been cleaned up. It now sits just a little bit lower. And now in the Share Settings menu, devices that are near you will show up top properly. Previously, they did not. You actually had to go into AirDrop in order to see them. Now they sit on the shelf up here. And now apps have to ask for permission in order to add things to the reading list. And a number of changes again to the toolbar in Mail. So for one, the reply button on the very right has been replaced with Compose. The reply button has been moved leftwards, and instead of a flag button, the reply button sits there now. And if I jump into the reply menu here, if I want to flag this message, I can do that here. Previously, you could not unflag it from this menu. I think it was bugged, but now it's working. And there's a little icon interface change here. The actual flag does not change colors. When you change it, the only change is up here once you do establish that change. In the TV settings, you now have an option to use cellular data for streaming and for downloading. So these are turned off by default. You might want to check with your plan before turning these on. And there are also new options for data saver for cellular and Wi-Fi. By default, the cellular one is put on data saver, which is 600 megabytes per hour. And a Wi-Fi is high quality, but you can't adjust those here. There's also a new option for downloads, so very similar. You can choose between fast downloads and high quality, so over Wi-Fi also. And Apple has rearranged the options. They've placed the Siri and search notifications and other options below the new download and streaming options. So in beta 1, we learned about a new feature called car keys, where you'll be able to use your iPhone to unlock a car. Now in beta 2, it's been discovered that you can actually share car keys with other users. So you'll be able to send them a message with a car key in it, maybe a temporary one, maybe just forever, and they'll be able to unlock the iPhone using NFC. And the prompt they'll get will look something like this, car key, and they'll actually get an instruction manual with this prompt, basically a little explainer of how to use it. So it's very interesting that Apple is looking at this. It's a feature available in some cars like BMW, but not standardized. And I'm very excited about the possibilities this opens. And it may ship with iOS 13.4 after the March event. We don't know, but 13.4 is the first firmware that's capable of using car key. And Apple has been working on transit passes. One in particular is Suica. I'm not really sure how to say that, but they've tweaked the interface in beta 2, and they're definitely focusing on transit. And in many areas throughout iOS, you'll see a much cleaner Apple ID sign-in page. For example, this is in Wallet. It takes up the full page now and just looks cleaner. And Apple has introduced a number of new CarPlay changes in iOS 13.4. Number one, an adaptation for wider screens. This is in particular for BMWs. You can see the navigation page here is now wider, and they've actually tweaked the Now Playing page and the little widgets up here. So for example, the Add to Library button has been removed from the Now Playing page, and those buttons are the only things that remain. The Now Playing window on the main page is now larger, and it is adaptive. So depending on what you're doing up here, it will shrink or grow larger, and it is adaptive. So Apple is making it work with more displays in more settings using more applications. Here's another example of those cards and how they can switch in sizes. So as you can see, you have a small view for the call and a large view also. And if you get directions, that can go up there, and it is adaptive. So you'll see it grow and shrink depending on what you're doing. And CarPlay will give you this view here when sharing your location for the first time with someone. Okay, so a number of changes in the music application. Apple is really refining their craft here. You can tell they want to compete with Spotify more. And let's go into the Up Next page, which has been renamed Playing Next now. And on the top right, you can see that the shuffle and repeat icons have switched places. Interesting change there. If I haptic touch a song, you'll notice that Play Later has been renamed to Play Last, same function though. And a number of changes in the lyrics view. Jumping into that, if there's an instrumental before the lyrics start, you'll see this little progress bar up top first. And if you actually select some of the lyrics, you'll notice this white outline, which lets you know you're actually clicking this lyric. Before it was a little confusing. And when you actually select it now, there's haptic feedback. A number of changes in Safari. Selecting a link, you'll notice there's an actual dedicated open button now. So instead of just clicking on the preview, you can select that. And in 13.4, Apple has re-added the ability to use camera in web view within Safari. So certain websites will actually be able to access your camera without needing to leave Safari. In the Home app, Apple has made the tiles brighter now. As you can see, they're not as dark, easier to discern against the background. And in the Home app, small temperature adjustments are now available. These increments are back. And in the Apple TV app splash screen, when opening it up for the first time, instead of start watching, it now says continue. In privacy settings, in system services, on the bottom, Wi-Fi calling is now an option in here. In Safari settings, in experimental features, Apple has added a number of new ones. There's at least 5 to 10 new experimental features for Safari. In your Apple ID device list, certain TVs like the LG C9 is now showing up in the list with this new icon, and a number of changes in the Assistive Touch menu. So first off, Dwell has a new icon, bolder, bigger. And if we go in to change an icon here, and you'll notice there's a new pinch and rotate gesture here instead of just pinch, and a new rotate gesture, which didn't exist before. And on the bottom in Dwell controls, Apple has added a new Move menu Dwell control. And down here, drag lock is no longer an available option for tracking speed. And a notification stacking bug, which some users were experiencing, where notifications would appear like this, has also been fixed in beta 2. And on iPad, I just wanted to share the keyboard controls with you. These are activated by holding Command on an external keyboard. And in Photos, these are the new ones that Apple did add in 13.4. just to give you a visual. And now in 13.4, a really cool thing that Apple did is they added the ability to use these arbitrary keyboard controls without needing to hold down the command key. So within native applications, you'll just be able to click certain shortcuts and things will activate in that application. All right, and that's it. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody that pre-ordered. It's been a crazy 24 hours and we're still running the giveaway for the AirPods and for the 3 Galaxy S20 Ultras. So about 1 week to go on the AirPods and I'll be announcing winners. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for S20 videos. Peace.